Hello, Latino Americanos. My name is Hugo Ringo. This video today that I'm making today, besides differently from all the other videos, I want you guys to hear a story of my past about why I have been changing so much against white people. Just picture this, okay? Um, when I was about 14, 15 years old, um, this was up in North Dakota. That's where I'm from. I grew up with white people. Uh, I ate with white people. All my friends were white people. I was taught by white people. Um, I was pretty much raised by white people because where I lived at, there was no African Americans. There was no Black Americans where I lived at. It would be really rare that you see a Black American. And also the Latinos that would come there. They were, I think they were called migrants. They would come from south and come and work up in the Dakotas during the harvest season. And they would help the farmers, and then after they make their money, they would return to the south and whatever, and they would repeat year after year. But very few Latinos would stay behind during the winter time. But I was that family. My mother lived in the Dakotas, and we did live there. We weren't a poor family. My mom had a really good job. She worked for a really good, successful factory. So I didn't grow up poor, and we didn't grow up on. I didn't grow up on, I guess, as welfare or anything like that. My mom worked hard. So the point that I'm trying to make in the story is I want to take you guys back to a time on how rude these white people are, how appalling white people can be to even a person who is 14, 15 years old. So we go back and I'm playing baseball, and I remember when we were at this park, and it was the summertime, and it was full of Latinos and full of white people. Um, they were all barbecuing and so on, and they were watching. It was a little league game. Uh, but anyways, basically, I was out in the outfield, and a total of two patrol cars started coming, and I looked over at a friend of mine, and I said, "Hey, check it out! They're gonna come and bust someone." And then he's yelling, "Yeah, I wonder who he's. It's probably gonna be one of you guys." And I started laughing because most of the park was just full of Latinos. And when Latinos start barbecuing, especially when they're from the south. Um, I remember, they'd be drinking beer, and yeah, a lot of times, not sometimes, but a lot of times they'd be, smoking their weed or whatever at that time, and that's what they were doing. But the point was, they were having a good time. There was no fights going on or anything like that. It was just everybody knew everybody, and they were just happy that they were there on the weekend watching the young kids play games. And what I was the only Latino out there playing for this baseball. So a lot of people they were watching this game, and these officers come around with in their patrol cars, and they stop. And I was playing outfield. I was playing center outfield at that time. And they get out of the car and they start showing a photo, and a lot of people they I remember seeing their head like no, they don't know and everything. And then all of a sudden, one officer calls the other officer, and they started talking, and they started coming over to where the baseball players were out in outfield. They jumped over the fence, and then all of a sudden I started, hey, look, man, they're gonna come after somebody, and then all of a sudden they started coming after me. So they came after me, and I started running. I didn't know why they were chasing me, and I couldn't even tell you why I started running, but I started running, and I remember jumping the fence over, and these other officers over there, they were able to tackle me, and they had tackled me to the floor. They tackled me so hard that they put their knee over my head, and I remember the pain, and I was telling them, get off me, get off me. What did I do? What did I do? I didn't do anything. And the Latinos at that time started telling these officers, hey, get off of him. He's only 14 years old. And the officers, they started to tell the people, get back. How they get so tough, like they're just the toughest persons in the world because they have that badge and that gun. But the reason why I'm telling you this story is because I want to tell you how Latinos are when they see one of their own getting attacked, even if it is by the government officials. So they had me on the floor, and this guy had his knee pretty much on my temple, and it really hurt. And I said, get off, you're hurting me. And when the Latinos started seeing this, and the officers, I remember one officer even pulled out his gun because I can see from the side. He said, "You step back, step back." And the Latinos were saying, "He's only a kid. Get off of him, man." And started yelling at these officers, and they would not get off of me. And I started telling them, "It hurts, it hurts." Well, anyways, the Latino community, what they did was they got together. I remember, I remember seeing just from the side of my eye. I remember seeing a piece of steak hitting the officer that had his knee on my head. It hit him, it hit him directly right on the face, and he got off. And who threw that? And before you know it, there was more stuff being thrown from all these Latino Americanos that were around there, and they all came up as one to protect me, because they started saying, "What you're doing is wrong, man. That kid is only 14 years old. He's playing little league, or he's playing baseball. He's playing baseball. There's no reason for you to act like that around him." And these were Latinos, speaking English, normal English, not the how racist people think that Latinos don't know how to speak English. No, but they were talking to them seriously. They were swearing at them, and the officers had their guns pulled out, and the Latinos were saying, go ahead and shoot us, and you see what happens." And then there comes another piece of meat flinging right at them. So they grabbed me, they threw me inside the car, and decided that it was better that they leave. So we left. They take me to the store, and the person that was at the store, at the cashier, said, "That's not him." So they let me go. And I remember before I was exiting that store, I said, "And what was it that the person stole?" The person stole a Snicker bar. And I said, "All of this for a Snicker that cost 50 cents? It doesn't even cost 50 cents, I told the officers. And I remember from that time, I always had a chip on my shoulder against police officers. But even at that time, the point of this whole story is that the white government, which is police officers that take care of the upper government, those are the worst ones. If these police officers, the white police officers in America, can do this to a 14-year-old over a Snicker bar back in that time, imagine what they are doing nowadays. That the upper government people don't even know, don't even pay attention, they don't even care. Can you imagine all the bad things that happen in the poor communities of the Latino Americanos? What about the Black Americans? I would want to say that it's even worse in the Black American area, where these white officers, they get away with almost anything. And these white people up on top, that they say that they love you people, that they love you American people, do they really love you American people? I really don't think so. I really don't think they care about you. They just want that position where they get paid a higher pay, and that they can make more money off of whatever they do, banquets that they do, or any possible way that they can rip money off from you hardworking people, which is dipping their hands inside the pockets of America. Latinos, I am telling you, there's so much that I know about that country. I was raised white. I grew up white. I speak like white people. I was raised in a white school, a good white school, a rich white school. So, and I also worked just with white people. That's why I am saying that not every single white person is racist. Because I know where I grew up, a lot of white people, they actually, it's not that they like Mexicans, or I don't want to use those words, it's that they're not all of them are racist like a lot of white people are. A lot of white people where I grew up actually uh, rely on the Mexican community to come up and work for them. Nowadays, I think a lot of things have changed because of technology and of the chemicals and so on, that they don't need them need any more Hispanics for working out in the farm fields. But what I'm trying to say is that that's how I grew up, seeing the Latino community come together to defend one person. As a young age, I saw that, and it's stuck in my head forever and in my heart, that I will never forget that these Latinos stood up to against these officers who pulled out their guns. They didn't even care, just to protect one Latino. History has repeated itself again. These white people did this to me. And I am tired of them doing a lot of things to every single colored person that exists in America, but especially you Latinos. I hope you can understand me and I hope you get to know me throughout these videos. But I really want to put a big dent into this racism, and I have a perfect plan, a really good plan. I just need you guys to come together. Help me come home. Believe me. Listen to me. If it's possible, invite me to your areas and listen to what I have to say against this white government. These white racist people that are running the United States, and they're just ruining it. They are ruining it so much that there's not going to be nothing left of that country. And besides, that country belongs to God. It's a God-owned country, and those white people are ruining it because they are forgetting who is in control of everything. Latinos, we know who is in control of everything, and that is God Himself. Jesus Christ is in control of everything, just as much as me saying what I am saying in these videos. It is not a surprise for Jesus Christ that, oh wow, look at this, Hugo el Gringo is making this Latino, these videos. You know, it's not a surprise for him. He knew it was going to happen. Mira, Latinos, yo nomás le voy a decir una cosa. I'm going to tell you one thing. It is time for us to come together. Believe me. Just believe me. I know how those white people work. They are not, but most of them are just evil white people that have a really bad spirit. It's not the person itself, it's the spirit that exists inside them. We need to take back what is ours, and what is ours is that country. We run that country. Without us, that country will be hurting. Latino Americanos, it is time. Stand up for me. Stand up for me. Back me up. I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed at the end. God bless you, Latinos. And remember, just remember, don't do the same thing what the black Americans did, which is destroy your very own city just because white people do bad things. It's not the correct way to do it. You need to be smarter than that. Don't go down that route. And black Americans, you know, I really am sorry for all the trouble or all the tragedy that these white people make you go through. These white people are just evil, wicked people. And you know, and my brothers and sisters, my heart goes out to you too. I really felt so bad when I heard that one person was killed. I know exactly what he felt like, because that same knee was on my head. But you know, I do know that the Latino community, they stood up for me, and they started protecting me, and it was so beautiful. And I know that same thing has to happen today. Those white people, a lot of white people are just evil, especially the ones that say they love you. They love you, they live with you, eat with you. They don't hesitate one bit to hurt you when they want to. And they get together. White people get together and they hurt a colored person. God bless you, Latinos. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say.